Welcome back to my channel. You already know it's your boy Hood Diggity, the Rock Reactor, back with another video. Yes, before I proceed, let me know where you tapping in from. Let me know what country, what city, what mountain, what hill, what cave, what island, what planet, what universe. Let me know where you at. Represent your hood. I seen this and I couldn't believe it, man. Tom Homan says ICE search in Minnesota has concluded. Finally. But this is good news for Minnesota, Minneapolis. But this is probably bad news for, I think they're going to Ohio now. It's like they're going on a, what is it? I mean, I don't want to call it a chaos tour. I just hope that they do it better this time. I just hope they change their tactics, whatever city they decide to go. And please don't go with 3,000 agents in a city, because that's going to cause a lot of chaos, man. You're going to have people finding out that ICE is there and they're just going to be moving, especially the immigrants, especially the illegal immigrants who could just move around. They don't really care. They could be transient. They don't have no papers anyway, most of them. I mean, I would if I was illegal somewhere and I know that ICE is going in there deep. I know I would be moving. But anyway, guys, let's get right into this, guy. Let's see what Tom Homan has to say. And before we do, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Any donations to my channel will be greatly appreciated. My PayPal account is on the screen. Let's see Tom Homan.
Minneapolis real quick. We'll get back to this. Tom Homan just wrapped up some remarks, and he's saying that the mission in Minneapolis has been accomplished and that they are going to conclude the surge of ICE agents in the area. But he's taking questions now. So let's listen in and see if we can get more layers.
That kind of sounds crazy, guys. I don't know. It depends on how you take it. But when he says that the mission in Minneapolis has concluded, I don't know, man. People died, man. People died. People were hurt. People were assaulted. A lot of mistakes were made. So to put it that way, to a lot of people, it don't sound right.
Surge of ICE agents in the area, but he's taking questions now. So let's listen in and see if we can get more layers on what's going on here.
Operations are run and executed nationwide. God bless the men and women of ICE, men and women of the Border Patrol. Appreciate everything you've done for us. Also, with sincere gratitude, President Trump and I want to thank the men and women of ICE and CBP and partner agencies who have been assigned here during Operation Metro Surge. You achieved a great success for the Minnesota communities. Thank you to your families as well, because I know they sacrifice also. Thank you, President Trump, for your vision, as well as your support and confidence in these brave, dedicated patriots that work hard to deliver on your strong commitment to law and order, public safety, prosperity for American communities. Today, we have the most secure border in American history. We are seeing record numbers of people being arrested and deported. Your promise to make America safe again is being played out every day on the streets of this country. I've said it many times. I worked for 6 different presidents.
And I got to say that I agree with that, guys. The border is definitely secure, guys. So, to their defense, you got to give them that. They are doing a good job when it comes to that. Like I said, they need to tone it down and stop harassing the real American citizens. And the people that are lawfully there, the people that are there, the legal immigrants, they need to leave them alone.
Administration. No one has done it better than President Trump. God bless this great country. I'll take questions now.
We'll take a couple questions, no follow-ups. I'll start off with Frankie. Yeah. Mr. Homan, as immigration enforcement...
I have a question. Where are you guys going next?
...continues across the country here in Minnesota as well. How do you hope to gain the trust of individuals here that have kind of been wary of seeing federal officers on the street, but let's say 6 months from now, we still have the office here. We still are enforcing immigration across the country. What do you hope things to look like, and what are you asking for the public?
Look, I just want people to look at the data on what this administration has done. the number of public safety threats we removed from the streets across this country that makes these communities safer. ICE has had an office here for decades.
Yeah, but at what cost, though, man? At what cost? At what cost?
Before it was called INS, Immigration Naturalization Service, this footprint will remain here. And they'll continue to do immigration enforcement here. But as President Trump has said from day one, we're going to prioritize the public safety threats. Again, but prioritization doesn't mean forget about everybody else. That means you have a criminal alien here and non-criminal here. The criminal always comes first because he's the biggest threat to the communities. We're going to continue to force immigration law. But we won't get back to the footprint here, the normal footprint here. But there will be some security teams staying here, the QRFs, until we're assured that those agitators, incidents, either stay low or further decline. I'm not going to remove everybody out of the safety of our officers, but like I said, and Operation Metro Surge is ending. And in the next week, we're going to deploy the officers here in detail back to their home stations or other areas of the country that are needed. But we're going to continue to enforce immigration law. That's what American people voted for. But it has to be a priority of criminals. And look, I hear all the hate about, you should arrest everybody. Well, we are. But we're prioritizing those who are the biggest threat to our community. The rapists, the murderers, the child molesters. That's the right thing to do.
And I'm all for that. I'm 100% for that. 1,000% for that. Especially the child molesters.
But I'll say it again. President Trump made a promise of mass deportation, and that's what this country's going to get. But it's smart law enforcement to do target enforcement operations. Now, I've heard people attack me using the word targeting. I sat for the last 2 months when I watched this operation, daily press briefings are talking about targeted operations. Nothing's changed. Other than we're going to make sure they're targeted and make sure we know who we're going for, what their immigration record, what is their criminal history. That comes first. But enforcement of Title VIII is not going to end. If you're in this country legally, you're not off the table. And I think we're proving it if you look at the data.
Eric?
Mr. Homan, just had a question about the final number of arrests you had and how many of those people arrested were those targeted security threats you were after?
I don't have that exact breakdown. I know we made over 4,000 arrests here. That is something local field officers can supply. I don't have the exact breakdown. But I can tell you, since I've been on the ground, they've been target enforcement arrests. I believe there were target enforcement arrests before I got here.
Guys, forgive me for saying, but he probably does have that breakdown more or less because he always has a number because he says you could check the data. I think out of those 4,000 people they arrested, probably at least 2,000 were American citizens or people that were lawfully in the United States.
What I did is create one chain of commands where everybody knows what everybody else is doing, and integrate operation command centers. There were some issues here, and we addressed those issues. But I'm not going to sit here and say anybody did anything wrong, and that they were unprofessional. I'm going to say there's some issues here. We fixed those issues. We've had great success with this operation, and we're leaving Minnesota safer. The surge is leaving Minnesota safer, Minneapolis safer, because of the cooperation.
I understand that, guys. He probably doesn't want to throw his people under the bus. He probably doesn't want to get fired also because he can't throw his own people under the bus. But please don't say that nobody did anything wrong. Please don't say that. People died. People were assaulted. You had a man that had a hole in his eye, and he actually went to the doctor because he had some chemical there. And the doctor was actually contacting ICE agents to find out exactly what chemical was in there so they could know and be able to treat him right, and they didn't even answer him. That's bad. Don't say that nobody did nothing wrong. Don't do that.
For the cooperation we got with the counties and the state and local law enforcement responding to our needs, I'll say it again, it's less of a sanctuary state for criminals.
Yeah, sorry to go a little off topic Chair, but can you confirm that CPD actually hit a party balloon instead of a drone with a laser during the incident in El Paso? And why wasn't that action coordinated with the FAA?
I have no information on that. It's out of my league.
We're going to keep the questions to Minnesota topic. Go ahead.
Mr. Homan, can you specify how many county sheriffs, local jails have agreed to work with you and honor ICE detainers?
I have not met one county jail that says no to us. They want to work with us.
Okay, we have time for one more. Go ahead.
Yes, hi, Mr. Homan. Can you?
Also, I agree that the county jails and the municipal, the officials, the local officials should work with ICE. If you arrest somebody that is illegal, an illegal immigrant, you should turn him over to ICE. You should. I totally agree with that, because that person, if you let that person out, that person commits another crime. That person rapes somebody. That person, he molests somebody. He commits any other crime. I think it's on the county or it's on the local facilities that let him out. I think it's on them.
You talked about this unprecedented level of cooperation between local officials and yourself. Can you explain more what is changed now in terms of that cooperation from before?
Several things have changed. First of all, when the agents were out doing operations and the agitators got a hand and posed a public safety threat, not just to the officers but the communities, law enforcement response has been sporadic at best. I think at what you see now, what you saw this past weekend, is law enforcement is responding to public safety needs quickly. And people were arrested for violating city ordinances as far as when it, unlawful assembly and so forth. They come to assist us to make sure our officers, the person we have in custody, leave that scene safely. You've seen it this weekend, and I'm happy that the local and state was there also, that responded, and we haven't seen any incidents of them not responding since we have these agreements in place now. As far as the jails, we got more cooperation, more jails than they had before we got here. And that's a good thing. We're having conversation with the state, and state already accepted our detainees, but we're moving further on our agreements with the state. So the cooperation we have here is going to keep this city safer. It's going to keep our agents safer. Arresting public safety threats in a jail just makes sense. If we look at, I was talking to my chief of staff this morning on the way over here. I see that most people on the other side, when I say the other side, they say that, this argument, Democrats versus Republicans, whatever. But most of the people, even Democrats, are saying they want public safety threats to be the focus. They think public safety threats, illegal aliens, should be addressed. But to say that and not let us into jail, you can't square that. I just noticed the governor of New York, my home state. I've heard her say that she believes public safety threat, illegal aliens should be the focus of ICE. But to have a press conference last week to lock us out of the jails and end 287G agreements, how do you square that? You can't. So again, prioritization of public safety threats don't mean we forget about everybody else. We're going to enforce the immigration law. We're going to have a mass deportation. President Trump promised that, and we're committed to that. However, it shouldn't be a partisan issue that you arrest public safety threats in the safety and security of a jail. Releasing public safety threats back in the public is just stupid. And
I agree with him so much, guys. I agree with him 100%. It's true. This should be a Democrat-Republican thing. This should be a public safety threat thing. I agree with him.
I've been arguing this for years. And I hope Congress takes action on sanctuary cities and sanctuary states. It makes sense. If you think about it, even the argument I hear, well, victims and witnesses of crime that are in the country illegally want to feel safe to come to law enforcement and to report those crimes without fearing that this law enforcement agency is working with ICE. That's a bunch of crap. Because victims and witnesses of crime don't want the bad guy released in the neighborhood either. It's ridiculous. We want access to the person that you chose, the local jurisdiction chose, to lock in a jail cell. And we have that cooperation here now. It's the right thing to do, and it makes this community safer. This community is safer because we arrested 4,000 illegal aliens, and it's over 4,000 illegal aliens here. Many of them public safety threat, not all of them. As I said, we're going to force immigration law, but this community is much safer because of President Trump's leadership and the men and women standing on this stage.
Thank you. That's all the questions we're going to take up.
Guys, I totally agree, man. It's like if somebody has a warrant in another state, you're not going to turn them over to another state. I mean, it doesn't make sense for law enforcement of any kind to protect illegal immigrants, to protect criminal aliens, illegal criminal aliens. It just doesn't make sense at all. So I totally agree with him. I just hope the next city they go, they don't cause so much chaos. Guys, you already know, man. Subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. Any donations to my channel will be greatly appreciated. My PayPal account is on the screen. May God have mercy on us all. Peace, love, and God bless.